I'm John Glisson. I live in Woodstock, Georgia. Our son Caleb is 15 years old, and he's in the 8th grade. Before Sora, he was in public school, which was a real challenge because he has pretty severe Tourette syndrome, and the public school really didn't handle it very well. I would go so far to say it was a pretty traumatic experience, actually, for him. And even though he did really, really well academically, he was pretty bored in public school. He was in all advanced and accelerated classes, and because of his Tourette syndrome, ended up going virtual, and their virtual program was just not good. The school was just not built for that kind of environment. Transitioning from public to Sora, we were actually a little bit nervous because, for one thing, we didn't know what it would be like in an online program. He had done online public school and was really bored. It was just PowerPoint presentations and answering quizzes, and he was really bored doing that. But we looked at Sora and were really excited about it being a mastery-based and project-based program. So it seemed like it would be much more up his alley and allow him to explore his interests and really dive deep into a particular subject rather than just gloss over it and answer questions and memorize things and take quizzes. But we were nervous because we weren't sure that he was going to get in, actually, because of his Tourette syndrome. So we put in our application, and then we had to hurry up and wait for it to be approved. And we were really, really hoping that he would get in. And of course, we were very excited when he did. And then we just had to finish out the rest of that semester until January when he actually started. Why did we pick Sora? That's a great question. We actually heard about Sora from the Tourette Association of America. We were talking with them about some of the challenges that we were having in public school, and they sent us a long list of online schools that we could check out, and Sora was one of them that was on the list. And being that project-based, mastery-based program, as well as being primarily started in Atlanta, which is close to us, that was really attractive to us. Yeah, the environment at Sora is interesting. It really is student-led. The teachers and advisors there really do take their cues from the students, I think. They do take that to heart. And I can see that in the way that they've approached a lot of things about Caleb's situation that is unique to him and allowed him to both be who he is and find creative ways to accommodate some of the things that his Tourette syndrome can bring to the table, so to speak. So how has he changed? His anxiety has definitely improved quite a bit, which has a very positive impact on his tics with Tourette syndrome. At the same time, I've seen him really enjoy school again. He had gotten to the point where he really was not enjoying school. Even though he was getting stellar grades, he was still bored and wasn't enjoying it. And he wasn't able to participate in the social aspect of school, particularly when he had to transition to virtual because of the traumatic experiences he was having in the classroom with his Tourette. So since transitioning to Sora, now he's made friends, he's with them all the time. We have had to change our perspective a little bit about what screen time means because that's his friend time is on the screen. So that's been a little bit of an interesting transition. We've had to change our perspective a bit. We actually had to have a family meeting about what screen time meant. Because, for instance, if we had a friend over at the house, we're not going to say, okay, you've had enough friend time, they need to go now. No, we want them to hang out as long as they can. You know, when I was a kid, it was when the street lights come on, that's when you have to come home. So it's different now. They're online, they're playing Minecraft, or they're playing D&D, or they're doing their different games, and they're on Discord all the time playing games and just hanging out and chatting with one another, and they're doing their club activities and helping each other with assignments in school, and he's really enjoying that experience. So that has changed a lot, quite a bit. Being a Sora parent, I think that feeling like we have a voice in the school, that we can influence the way that they are approaching their situation. We've made some recommendations on ways they can help accommodate Caleb with his Tourette syndrome. They don't do 504s and IEPs like a public school would, but at the same time, I think that they've been just as flexible as a school that really does kind of take special education seriously I feel like they really want to make his educational experience as good as it can be within the environment that they have. And so being a Sora parent, we've always felt heard and understood, which is a pretty big deal in our circumstance. Parent Roadmap is fun. We go to the Parent Roadmap meeting once a month, where a collection of parents will come together and talk about the things that Sora is looking to develop in the future, and we get to comment on that and really have some input and some say into what the program is going to look like in the future as they're thinking about expanding into new areas and tweaking the curriculum or things along those lines. They do take our feedback, and some of that I think does influence the decisions that they make as a school. One of the things that pleasantly surprised me about Sora is that Caleb is actually reading books for school. In fact, one of his expeditions was, his class was called Banned Books. And there are lots of banned books in public schools. Well, this class was pick a book that has been banned, read it, and do a project on that book. And I was really happy about that class for him, because he's reading books again instead of getting little reading sheets and things like that with assignments attached to them. He's reading actual books, with covers and pages and that kind of thing. So I really like that he's reading books, and I look forward to that being more of his experience, because I think it's missing in the school experience he had before. He went through the entire middle school and didn't read a single book.
That's surprising.
I know. It surprised me too. I'm like, what is he doing?
Yeah.
Got English and he's not reading. What's English lit without books?
Right.
That's nuts. The Sora parent community is, I think, pretty welcoming and inviting. We have the Heartbeat app, which is new to the program, I think, where we stay connected and we can answer questions. We can reach out to the staff and we can answer questions for each other. We have gotten to hang out with a couple of the families that are in our area, and that's been a lot of fun getting to know them. I know that Sora parents are involved, maybe more than the average, in their kids' education. And I think that's part of what Sora looks for in families, or looking for families that are invested in their kids and their educational experience. And I think that is one of the keys to making Sora work, is actually being involved as a parent. So that's pretty fun.